And with no further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. The first question will come from Sarah Spencer from the AJC.
Hey, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
So my question is, what was your initial reaction when the Hawks started pursuing you in free agency? And what do you want to bring to the team?
Well, the first reaction was that there was a lot of interest, and so when there is a lot of interest in free agents for a free agency, you're always excited. So it brought a lot of excitement right away. And then the expectations, I have high expectations. I think we have a very good team, and we want to go farther in the playoffs. We're going to go in the postseason, being focused on that, and just taking it day by day to getting better. That's the most important thing that we need to approach every day and every practice and every workout. And then be able to do the same, bring the same focus and unselfishness that we bring every day in the gym, just to bring it on the court.
Thank you.
Next question from Chris Kirschner with The Athletic.
Hey, Danilo. Ultimately, why did you end up signing with Atlanta in free agency?
I like the project. I like the team that we got. I like the young guys that we got, and so a lot of things together. It was a very exciting choice for me.
Next from Steve Hummer with the AJC.
Yes, hi, Danilo. I was just curious about what has your experience been playing against Rajon, and how much are you looking forward to actually being on the same side with him now?
He's an amazing point guard. He has an amazing IQ, very high IQ, and he knows how to play the game the right way. He won championships, so that's a guy that every basketball player wants to play with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben Steiner.
Hey, Danilo. How much did having a point guard like Trae Young, who was second in the
It was a bad connection. Sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
I think we might have lost him altogether. He'll probably rejoin. In the meantime, we'll go to Christian Winfield from New York Daily News.
Hey, Danilo, how's it going? Happy belated Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed that time with your loved ones. Quick question for you. You played in New York, you played in Denver, you played in Los Angeles, you played in Oklahoma City, and there's been a good deal of moving involved with each of those moves, right? Like you had to relocate from New York to Denver, and then from Denver to LA, and then from LA to OKC, and now from OKC to Atlanta. I'm just curious how this year moving in the middle of a pandemic has been different from moving in previous seasons from market to market.
Thank you for the Thanksgiving, and to you too. Unfortunately, my family was in Italy, so I was just by myself with my wife. But thank you. I think that moving, everything that is going on in the pandemic is just different. From the bubble to the moving to the free agency, everything is just different. It's not like it used to be before the pandemic. So I think that in any situation, the NBA was able to set up everything in a perfect way, and so it's just being different, like from coming to a new city, getting settled with the house, getting settled with the team, all the rules that we need to go and the protocols that we need to go through before we go and coming to the gym every day. It's just a different process, and it's a daily different process. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Allison Mastrangelo with WSB.
Hey, welcome to Atlanta. Just kind of sticking with that theme a little bit. I was more so curious
you know, this is the sixth team that you've been with. So throughout your career and the transitions that you've made, have you learned anything about yourself on how you're able to kind of adapt and adjust into new teams so quickly with your teammates, even though this year is so different?
Yeah. Well, I've been moving from like city to city to different teams since I was a little kid. And so the moving part and changing teammates every year is something it hasn't been new to me. The way that I think that the way that I view life, that I view basketball, and the way that I approach my team is always the same. That helps tremendously with me fitting in a new team every year, with almost every year, or with new teammates every year. So I'm a very unselfish guy by nature, and so I think that's the main thing, the thing that helps the most when you're trying to get in a new team.
Paul Newberry with the AP.
Hey, Danilo, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
A couple things. What specifically excited you when you saw the Hawks? Obviously, they've got a lot of great young talent and Trae Young. You know, what specifically stood out to you about coming here, and also just what do you think? You have any idea what your role might be? Obviously, you're joining a team, play some positions where they have guys that played a lot last year. What's your thoughts on what your role is going to be here?
Well, the exciting thing was just talking to my agent. The excitement that there was on the Hawks side towards me was great, and that's the thing that excited me the most. Knowing that everybody from the owner to the GM to the coach to the teammates, everybody was excited to have me here was enough to get me excited. So and then my role here, I just got to be myself, bring in the work every day and just play the way that I know how to play, and the stuff that I've been doing for all my career, just got to do it here in the same way. And especially something that I've been enjoying a lot in my last few years, which being very successful with a very young group of guys. And so being able to help these young guys develop has been something that, especially in the last 2 seasons, I've been doing a lot, and something that I really enjoy. And so leadership, winning mentality, all this kind of stuff that I've been bringing to everything that I play with.
Our next question is from Italy. I believe it's David or David.
It's Davide. Thank you very much. We almost got it.
Sorry.
Hi, Danilo. Nice to see you via Zoom. I hope everything is right with you and Eleonora. What about your first impressions with the Hawks now that you have sort of started training with them and moved to Atlanta?
Ciao, Davide. The right pronunciation. Nice to see you. The first thing that you can feel is definitely the excitement and the focus. Everybody's been working out. Everybody is working out and being very focused on what they have to bring to the team, what their role is into the team. And so I think that the focus and the excitement are two things that I wanted to see and I've been seeing every day.
Grazie.
Prego.
My apologies, Davide. Next question from Greece, and I believe it's Christos.
Hello, Danilo. How are you? Welcome to Atlanta. I would like to ask you, what are the expectations from you about next season? And this team has a great players like Rajon Rondo, Trae Young, and also Clint Capella. How excited you are to collaborate with these guys and go to the playoffs, of course?
Christos, ευχαριστώ, τι κάνεις?
Hola, Kala, you?
Καλά. I think that we have a great mix between the young players who are very talented and veterans that are talented, and they're great leaders, and they've been great players in their career. And so I think that when you combine, especially in the NBA nowadays, that mix, a lot of good things can happen, and that's the thing that I'm most excited about.
Next question from Alec McQuaid from WXIA.
Hey, appreciate you doing this. I was just curious, you've been in the league a long time, obviously. How is your perception of how the Hawks have been building throughout this time? How have you perceived those? And what was kind of a moment when they captured your attention with a move they made?
I think they did an amazing job in this free agency. They were able, between, you know, everybody from Travis to everybody that is in his team, to build the team that they were able to build this year. And you know, is like I said, when I talked to Travis, the excitement and the focus and the willing to, you know, go into the postseason and winning, I think is something that definitely, you know, caught my attention, and so that's one of the main reasons why I'm here.
Kevin Chenard with Hawks.com. All right, we will move on to Jamila Johnson with ATLHawksFans.com.
Welcome to Atlanta. So my question for you is, you obviously have a lot of experience playing basketball and whatnot. At this stage in your life or in your career, are there things that you still want to learn? Are there things that you're still working on as far as improving your game? Do you have any set goals personally for yourself?
The only goal that I have for myself is win as many games as possible, and it's a team goal. I don't have any particular individual goals. I've been, you know, doing what I've been doing all my career consistently, year in and year out. So my only goal is just to take this team to the postseason, and then not just that, we need to do some damage once we get to the postseason. So individually, the things that I've been working on is just, you know, especially at my age, I think it's very important to work on my body, and that's something that I've been focusing on the last few years more than in the past when I came into the league. And that's something that I wish I knew how to handle my body better when I first came into the league. But you know, it's a daily routine and work that I do every day, for me to be ready to, you know, to play a lot of minutes every night.
Back to Sarah.
You know, I remember talking to Clint Capella, and he mentioned there's that winning mindset. You know, he's a guy with a lot of postseason experience, and he mentioned he wanted to bring a winning mindset to some of the younger guys. I was just wondering, how do you convey that to guys who, you know, don't have as much experience or haven't won at a high level yet? What do you tell them about what it takes in order to get to the postseason, in order to do some damage in the postseason, like you say?
I think is a daily, is not something that, you know, is a work that we need to do as veterans every day. It's not going to take 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. It could take 2 months, but it's something that the young guys are going to get. They're going to get it. Things that, you know, is easy. I'm thinking about, you know, simple stuff like you can, like when you lose a game, you can't just take it and just say, oh, we lost the game, whatever, on to the next one. No, like that loss, you need to analyze it, understand why, and make sure you don't do the same mistakes, and take a step forward every game. Every game you need to get better. You can't take any steps back. And you know, you can't be cool with not winning or losing games. We step onto the court to win games, and that's the ultimate goal. So
thank you.
Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I wanted to ask about, obviously, I'm doing a story on Chris Paul, and you played with Chris last year in OKC. What are things that he what was the biggest impact he made on you guys last year? And just give me an example of something that he did personally, either with you or that you noticed that made you go, wow, this is why he's considered this kind of player or this kind of person.
Well, I think that Chris is a great leader. He was a very vocal leader. Win, and so he was a great leader in that. He's very vocal. He loves basketball. He can talk and watch basketball all day, which I cannot do. Once I'm done with basketball, I go home. I do everything but basketball. But it's just a different approach, in life in general. But Chris is amazing in that way, and also I think he's just a second coach on the court. He's very smart, and so you don't approach the game just to play basketball, but you actually analyze offensively and defensively every aspect.
Thank you.
Back to Chris Kirschner.
A few days ago, Travis said that he made it clear to you when you signed that you were signing up for a backup role. Is that correct? And if so, why was that appealing to you?
It's correct. And the most one of the things that I said before that excite me is the young guys that we got are very, very good, very talented, and I do believe in the young guys that we got. And so if I didn't believe in the young guys that we got, I wouldn't have picked ATL. But I really, like I said, I really believe in the group that we got. And my focus has always been, since I started playing basketball, is winning. And so whatever the team or the coach wants me to do or needs me to do to win, that's what I'll do. And so that's the only the focus and the only way that I see playing basketball.
Raphael Haynes.
In OKC, it seemed like the team was similar to what you all have now as far as the mix of vets and then the young personnel who hadn't made it to the postseason. What did you learn from that experience that you could bring to the Hawks and, I guess, teach them or, explain to them how to win and how to deal with trying to make it to that next level?
I think that I was in the last few years, even when I was in LA, was the first year of Shea, for example. It's just amazing when you are a veteran and you speak a lot to these young players and you teach them a lot of things. It's amazing to me the way that they are able to translate that on the court, and they just listen and do what you say, and you see them improving game by game. And for example, if you see Shea when he was in LA and the season that he played last year, he made some amazing steps forward. So I think is a part of basketball and a part of my job that excites me a lot.
Allison.
We've talked a lot about the leadership that you bring and also your experience. So how would you describe, I guess, your leadership style? Is it being vocal? Is it one-on-one? I mean, what's your leadership style, and what will that look like this season for the Hawks?
Well, that's a secret. That's something that stays on the court. But what one thing that I can tell you, I'm not as vocal as Chris Paul. My English is not that good, But no, I like I'm not a guy that screams or. I like to lead by example, doing the facts and the things on the court. I like to do a lot of one-on-one, not just playing one-on-one, but one-on-one conversations. Those are the conversation that I think that helps the most, because you can do it in you're calm. You can have time during that. But the main thing is that not just being vocal during practice. I think it's key to be vocal during games, because what I could see during my career is that it's easier to be vocal in practice, but it's not as easy to be vocal in the games. And so when the game comes, I've seen a lot of players all of a sudden they're not talking anymore. So I'm a game guy, and so I like to be very vocal on during games.
We've got about 5 more. We'll go to Edwin Powell.
Welcome to Atlanta, Gallo.
Thank you.
Quick question. You've been with several teams over the years. In your opinion, what does it take for a team to mesh, for a team to come together and be cohesive?
I think that sometimes being unselfish first and being uncomfortable in situations and just be real and talk about it. The more you don't want to talk about situation and solve problems, the worse it is for the team. So we will have problems just like every other team has, especially a new team. And the more we talk about it and we work on it and just find solutions in during practice and during games, I think that's the fastest and best path to success.
Got 4 more. One from Christos.
Gallo, I would like to ask you, how excited you are to have teammates like Bogdan, Trae Young, and Rajon Rondo in the backcourt, and you feel that these guys can lead the team on offense with you on offensive end?
I think so. I think with the guys that you have mentioned, they have a lot of weapons offensively. I think is tough to guard them. Once the chemistry we get going with the chemistry and the chemistry gets better, it's honestly tough to play defense against those three, especially with the bringing all the 3-point shooting that those 3 guys bring. Is gonna make life easier for everybody else.
Grazie.
Back to Sarah Spencer.
You touched on this a little bit with improved 3-point shooting, which is something this team needs. I know you haven't played together yet and it's very early, but what are some big strengths you could see and potential on this roster? What are some of the biggest strengths? On paper, it looks like you're going to be able to, shoot pretty well.
Well, he's like you said, he's on paper. Hopefully we'll be able to do it on the court too. I'm sure we will. Like you said, and like I said before, we have a lot of weapons offensively. It's not just the 3-point shot, but it's definitely something is gonna be our strength for sure. And then I think that offensively we have one-on-one players. We have players that can play in a post like me, and so we can touch on on everything, every aspect offensively.
2 more. First from Alec McQuaid.
Just going back to leadership for just a second, I was curious, did the organization ask you if there was a certain player that you could help take under your wing, or is there somebody that you'd like to take under your wing? And then the second part is just how have you perceived John Collins' game from far away?
Well, I think that we have a lot of young players, but of course you mentioned John, and John playing in a similar position to mine. I can definitely help him a lot. I think he's incredibly talented, offensively and defensively. He's an amazing athlete too. So if you can combine all those things together and being efficient on the court, only sky's the limit. And so I'm definitely looking forward to play with him and help him out.
And our final question will go to Chris Kirschner.
I know your last year with the Knicks, Landry Fields was there. I'm curious, what was your relationship like with him, and does it give you some comfort to have some familiarity with someone who's now in the front office?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's kind of weird when I talked to Landry. It was kind of weird to talk to him, me still being a player and him being in the front office since he was my rookie when I was in New York. But Landry is he's a extremely smart guy, great guy, and he's one of the first guys that I talked to when I first came to Atlanta. So he helps a lot. He's been helping me a lot, not just with basketball stuff, but with all the stuff that I got going on in my life. I'm gonna be a dad very soon for the first time, and so he's been helping me with that stuff. But in general, the whole franchise has been amazing. So.
All right, that was our final question.